everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Tomas, and today I am bringing you guys a new episode in my interior design and film series. If you haven't seen any of the previous videos in this series, make sure to go check them out once you are done with this one. I am going to leave all of them linked in the description box down below. In this series, we discuss the interiors and some of your and my favorite films. So definitely feel free to leave a comment in the comments down below letting me know which movie you would like me to talk about next, and I will try my best to get to it. I'll definitely add it to the list. I love when you guys tell me which movies you want me to discuss, so definitely let me know down below if you have any ideas. On the last couple of episodes, we've actually been doing a deep dive into one of my favorite directors, Nancy Meyers, and we discussed the interiors in both films. It's complicated and something's gotta give. And today we're gonna be continuing this deep dive with one of my all-time favorite films. And it's not only the best movie to watch during the holidays, but year-round. We are gonna be discussing the interiors in the film The Holiday.
I need you to answer this.
Are there any men in your town?
Perfect.
We're on our way to New Jerusalem.
I'm here.
The Holiday was released in the winter of 2006, and with an A-list cast. The film stars the brilliant Kate Winslet as Iris, Cameron Diaz as Amanda Woods, Jude Law as Graham, and Jack Black as Miles. And of course is directed by the one and only Nancy Meyers. And since we will be highlighting the beautiful sets, we cannot forget to credit the brilliant production designer John Hopman and set decorators Cindy Carr, Cynthia McCormack, and David Smith. So in today's episode, we're gonna be going over Rosehill Cottage, which is Iris's beautiful home in Surrey. We'll go over Amanda's Spanish home in Los Angeles, and as a little bonus, we're gonna be going over some of my favorite details in Graham's picture perfect English home. Now, for those of you who might not be quite familiar with the film's premise, The Holiday follows the story of Iris, an English journalist who, after finding herself in heartbreaking love problems, decides to swap houses for the holidays with a woman across the world. Amanda, a famous film editor whom is too in a similarly unlucky love situation, trades homes happily in need of a much needed break. Iris finds herself in a palatial Hollywood mansion while Amanda navigates the lanes of a picture-perfect English village, residing in a cottage ripped out of a storybook. However, both ladies soon enough find out that forgetting and running away from their troubled love lives will be harder than expected, and that love might find them anyways. Now, even though the cottage is my favorite home, I actually want to begin talking about the Los Angeles home. The sophisticated LA home featured in the film was originally designed and owned by architect Wallace Neff. Both the front and backyard we see in the house are the true exteriors of the home. However, all of the interiors were actually built in a separate soundstage. This gives production complete control over lighting, wall placements, camera placements, and many other key details to take into consideration while in production. Building this set alone cost a whopping $1 million, and that is excluding exterior walls, plumbing, and electricity. But circling back, the beautiful Spanish-style home has incredible Mediterranean influence, with architectural details and key elements present throughout the front and back side of the house. With beautiful white walls, delicate stonework, terracotta roof tiles, traditional pillars, and exquisite wooden accents, this California home is breathtaking. It is grand, it's sophisticated, contemporary, a true masterful blend of masculine and feminine touches, and the exact home viewers would expect a successful Hollywood editor to reside in. I want to point out the beautiful landscape throughout, with the greenery adorning the walls, balconies, and corners of the home. Classic olive trees and rose bushes can be spotted in the backyard. And to top it all off, the most amazing pool to relax in. The exteriors of this home are so grand. However, the interiors are even better. As we step inside, the home opens up to a big foyer with dark tiled floors and beautiful Spanish white walls. This contrasting color is something that we'll actually see throughout the entire home. It's that plain contrast that creates a perfect balance of femininity and masculinity in the home and showcases Amanda's character and story to the fullest. It shows us what state of life she is in at the beginning of the movie and serves as the perfect getaway for Iris's character, being such a departure to her home in Surrey. The entryway is minimally decorated, with a rich tan rug grounding the space. The art on the walls is simple and sophisticated. The use of dark furnishings in the space helps create visual interest and gives the room more dimension. I want to also point out the use of lighting. This being said, production has complete control of what the lighting sources are and where the lighting is coming from. On this image specifically, we can see light come from above, signaling the presence of skylights, which bathe the home in dreamy daylight. The living room continues the contrasting elements that we see in the entrance and takes them one step further. The home is furnished and decorated in a sophisticated Belgian style. This style is streamlined and relaxed. It uses warm, organic materials to achieve elegance and simplicity through the use of earthy hues. Myers' staples come into use masterfully in this room. Both the sofa and armchairs are draped with a classic white linen cover, and the use of skirts brings in that more delicate touch that the space needs to feel balanced. A large patterned rug helps break the dark tiled flooring and creates a separation for the dark coffee table and ottomans in the center. We see additional seating with dark slip covers which feel elegant and balanced, going hand in hand with the dark side tables placed strategically throughout the room. On the furthest wall, a fireplace with a mantelpiece centers the room, accompanied on either side by lighter console tables and more delicate artwork. The use of lighting brings much needed texture and visual interest, and it creates various heights in the room. Finally, on the left wall, black and more industrial French doors help bring the outside in, connecting both living areas in a refined manner. It is the perfect California living room. Grand, refined, light, sunny, and sophisticated. It is safe to say that the kitchen in this California home is a dream. It even has its own score in the movie's soundtrack. It is massive, and every corner is used methodically to the fullest. The kitchen further uses the contrasting color palette from the entryway and living room, continuing the dark tile and light white walls, and even those pops of rust burnt orange. In here, we now introduce more natural textures and hues, with the use of bleached wood, wicker baskets, and organic trays. Once again, the use of white linen covers is used in both upholstery and furnishings, keeping the bright, airy feel the home has. The dining table is round and perfect for hosting dinner parties. Being placed right off of the island in the kitchen gives it a more personal, cozy, and inviting feeling. In the center of the room, we have a white sofa, which not only provides additional seating and conversation areas, but helps divide the space, creating a make-believe hallway between the kitchen and the exterior. The French doors going from wall to wall completely bring the beautiful exteriors in and give the room light, life, and natural elements, paired beautifully with several large vases and planters with great variations of greenery. It is key to point out the black cabinetry and darker stonework. These shades of gray and dark browns bring in that contrast and visual dimension to the kitchen. They are a more original and at times uncommon design choice. I'd say that my favorite element in this kitchen are the 3 lanterns hanging from the ceiling. They give the room a beautiful traditional touch, feeling custom and high-end. The room is filled with warm lights which help break the otherwise cooler tones of the space. This kitchen is spectacular and no detail was left undone. Finally, I want to touch upon the main bedroom and office. Both rooms maintain the same elements as the rest of the home and are further proof of the balance Amanda likes to create in her spaces. Every detail is elegant and sophisticated. The bed is grand with beautiful textiles in a muted and neutral palette. The automated curtains we all fell in love with follow with that gray shade, tying everything together. We see simple and minimal art on the walls, a curation of books and magazines off to the side, light natural wood tones on the nightstands and desk, and a continuation of bringing the outside in through large windows and exquisite greenery. These rooms are filled with little details in the decoration that helps the viewer get a glimpse into Amanda's personality, life, her likes, and her passions. It is an extension of who she is and how she finds herself at the beginning of the film. This home is done masterfully and, more importantly, cohesively. Everything makes sense and has a purpose, a reason to be there. It is carefully crafted and put together, and it is definitely a retreat many people would love to escape to. The English cottage in The Holiday has got to be one of the most iconic film homes of all time. Its worldwide popularity only continues to grow year after year, and deservingly so. The cottage is one of the main reasons we all fell in love with this movie many years ago. Rosehill Cottage is ripped out of a fairy tale and children's storybook. It is picture perfect and true movie magic, and to this day is a huge topic of conversation in the film and production design world. It has recently sparked a lot of outrage in the public, for after an interview done by Jude Law, who of course stars in the film, many people came to find out that the cottage they've been dreaming about for years is in fact not real. The exteriors of the home were designed and thoughtfully crafted, built from the ground up. This includes the fences, the trees and greenery, and the entire facade, from the walls, windows, doors, all the way up to the roof. The home was inspired by a real cottage that director Nancy Meyers found on a listing of vacation rentals in the National Trust. It was the perfect home, straight from a children's storybook. A quaint little 2-storage cottage with 4 windows and a door. It was the perfect look. The real-life home is still there in Bringsty, Hertfordshire in the UK. So, in the course of about a week, production built Rosehill Cottage from the ground up. The facade was made out of wood and fiberglass, using movie magic and extremely talented craftsmanship, giving the home the look of centuries-old stone. The landscape then took an additional 3 weeks, which finalized the look, giving it the perfect feel and much-needed realism. Even the trees were fake. It is a true masterclass in set design and film set production. Even though the structure was constructed on a secluded area of the English countryside, the build became a hot tourist spot while production was taking place, bringing in hundreds of curious visitors to check out the production. And though obvious, it pains me to say that the build was completely torn down once production finalized. Rosehill Cottage has the most dreamy and welcoming exterior, with the stone walls, chimneys, blue door, and window trims, and the cutest little covered entry. This cottage is picture perfect and the true embodiment of the ideal English cottage. It is dreamy during the day and during the night. And if you think the exteriors of the home are cozy, just wait till you step inside. Making our way into the cottage, we are instantly embraced with warmth, textures, patterns, character, and charm. The home is small but mighty and is packed with visual interest and little details that are worth discussing. Like many of you, I am assuming if you're watching this, I find myself rewatching the film time and time again just to simply explore the interiors of this dreamy home. The interiors of the cottage were of course built inside a soundstage, having two separate sets, one for the ground floor of the home and then a separate one for the second story of the home. By the entrance, a hanging rack welcomes you, perfect for putting down your coat and boots. An additional console table adds extra storage and a perfect place for a table lamp and catch-all. The small entryway centers the bottom floor, dividing the living room and the kitchen, which we will get into in just a minute. Tiled floor carries throughout the entire space, paired with beautiful creamy yellow textured walls and the most charming warm wood beams. The architectural details in this home are outstanding and the perfect representation of what a true English cottage would look like. Off to the left, we have the living room. This is the most perfect room and what seems to be the ideal space to lounge in and read a book. The perfect holiday getaway for Amanda. In this room, we can immediately notice the use of furnishing to bring that delicate touch to the home. The mixture of floral patterns, linens, and diverse textiles not only gives immense visual interest, but brings in that feminine touch the house needs. We can picture Iris living here. I love the use of mix of patterns in this space. From the throw pillows to the slip-covered armchair, the curtains, the lamp and sconce shades, the ottoman, the Turkish rug, all of these elements help give the space a curated and lived-in look. It feels traditional and timeless. Notice the color palette. It is warm, cozy, and inviting. It's young and relaxed and fun. The room, as well as the rest of the house, is filled with little details that further show us who Iris is. The candles, the artwork on the walls, the collection of books and DVDs, all of these items help sell the look of a lived-in place and make it feel that much more real. The stone walls wrap around either side of the home and help bring in the natural element from the outdoors. And the practical fireplace adds an extra layer of warmth to the space. The uses of diverse lighting help break up the heights in the room, adding dimension and a layered feel. Now that is what the design of this home thrives on. It's layers on layers on layers. Take a look at that side table. One would never expect the use of a military drum as a side table, yet it fits perfectly with the space and it gives us a hint of Iris's personality. I could talk about this room for hours and find new elements to point out with every single rewatch of the movie. It is the coziest space and the perfect introduction for Iris's cottage. Let's talk about the kitchen. Again, a small space that is packed to the brim with charm and detail. The first thing we notice as we step into the kitchen is the French blue or periwinkle cabinetry. Its gorgeous design is classic and very traditional, with its round knobs bringing in that fun element. The color is a playful tie to the trim and door from the exterior, yet not quite the same color. The room is grounded with a small dining table on the center, with 4 traditional wooden chairs and a woven rattan round table. Above it, a beautiful brass chandelier hangs low from the ceilings, giving the space some beautiful ambient lighting. The bulbs are covered by simple shades, which have some little details tying back to the lampshades we see on the sconces by the entrance and in the living room. It's that added layer of textiles that really helps soften up the space. There's a tiny stove with a beautiful window above it, adorned with more patterned curtains. Right next to it, an additional fireplace brings in that practical warmth. And what might be one of the best elements in the room, the display shelves above the mantle. On them, we see a beautiful curation of ironstone, blue and white checkered plates, bowls, china, jars, vases, pictures, and even lighting. This collection and mix of decor and items give the space that eclectic and curated look. On the other wall, more storage, display shelves, and even a small island/bar cart on wheels. And on the wall opposite to the fireplace, we can see this beautiful hutch cabinet in a perfect warm honey wood. Here, Iris has displayed even more plates and mugs, continuing that blue and white color palette we see throughout the kitchen. It is these little details that really make this space. And it is elements such as this that one could point out and recreate in their own spaces if they would like to achieve the look and feel of this cottage. Off to the side of the kitchen on the further back end of the cottage, we have a small library and study. This could be Iris's home office and the perfect little space to get some work done or read a book. John Hutman has mentioned how he believed this would have been an addition to the original build of the cottage, as it feels detached from the home and is its own little area. Plot-wise, Hutman and Myers had to design the home to fit within the story, and due to a scene towards the end of the film, the cottage needed to have a separate space that was out of view when entering the cottage, and this study served as the perfect space. I adored this room. It is a reader's dream. With floor-to-ceiling built-in bookshelves, the study feels cozy and welcoming. The creamy white shelves serve as storage and an opportunity for styling. And with the use of books, magazines, and other items, Hutman is able to bring in an explosion of color for that perfect eclectic look. The striped armchair is one of my favorite elements, with dark stained legs and wheels at the front. It is the perfect little room and I had to give it its own moment. With that done, let's head up upstairs and check out the main bedroom. Watching our heads as we make our way up the stairs, the main bedroom is cozy and sophisticated. It keeps the traditional and layered look as the rest of the house, yet feels a bit more laid back and relaxed. The first thing we notice is the continuation of the incredible architectural detailing on the walls and ceiling. I just can't get enough of these beams. The room is grounded by a large striped area rug with a beautiful olive green undertone. At the center, we have the bed layered with patterned sheets and a beautiful quilt. I love the frame of the bed. The white metal frame is detailed with ornate little flowers, which add another level of femininity. At the foot of the bed, a dark bamboo-style bench helps bring in that contrast and darker, richer tones, which go hand in hand perfectly with the more delicate color palette throughout. The bedroom uses pops of red to connect different elements in the space, which give it dimension and focal points to direct the viewer's eyes. Table lamps are used to the fullest, with an assortment of shapes, sizes, and shades, adding more texture and warmth to the room. Additionally, we can see another fireplace with a beautifully styled mantle adding natural materials. And off to the side, additional seating is provided with the armchair. And of course, we can't talk about the beautiful main bedroom in the Rosehill Cottage without mentioning the bathroom. The bathroom is tiny, yet it packs a huge punch. That is because it's full of character and is so very charming. A diamond checkered pattern has been painted on the wooden floors, rubbing off through the years, further adding to the idea of the home being there for many years. The slanted wall is painted a light blue shade, which of course ties back to the kitchen, the study, and the exterior of the home. In fact, light blue is a color used throughout the entire cottage to create that connection, and it works every single time. I love the vanity dresser that's on the side. Its traditional look fits perfectly with the space, adding storage and counter space. On the opposite wall, we have a tiny sink and toilet. There is a couple of uses of lighting in the space with a beautiful wall sconce and a small table lamp. The further end wall continues that gorgeous stone from the exterior, and a small window helps bring in that natural sunlight. But finally, one of the most iconic set pieces in this home, the bathtub. This tiny tub has stuck with most viewers for its charm and hilarious size. Amanda even comments on it as she tours the home for the first time, pointing out how it will be interesting to use eventually. And of course, later on in the film, we see her taking a bath, which looks comically uncomfortable yet cozy. Now, that is the last room in the cottage. However, there is one more bonus home that I would love to touch upon before we finalize this video, and that is, of course, the beautiful Mill House. When we first meet Graham, who is Iris's brother, we are under the impression that he is a drunken single man. And as an audience, we can really picture him living in a very interesting home. However, we would be very wrong. When Amanda arrives at the Mill House to pay Graham a surprise visit, we see her walking up to the most beautiful English home. Through the stone gate and up the charming driveway, the exterior of the Mill House is breathtaking. During production, the exteriors of the home were actually filmed in location at the most beautiful mill house in Surrey. However, all of the interiors of the home were filmed in a practical location in a home in the neighborhood of Los Feliz here in Los Angeles. This home is spectacular. After finding out Graham's a single father of 2 girls, we as a viewer step inside his home and are welcomed by the most wonderful interiors. The home is contemporary and masculine, yet it is a family home above anything else. The charm and warmth radiate through every single room. Every space in this home is inviting and radiates the energy of a loving family. Some of my favorite details are the stove in the kitchen, which is actually an Aga cooker. This is a quintessential English stove and is a key detail to help us sell the idea of this home being in England. And as I am sure for many others, the element that won me over from this house is of course the tent that Graham built for his kids in their bedroom. This little tent is magical and a safe space for them as a family to come together and embrace one another, letting in only the people they trust and love. This home feels like the perfect balance of the charm and the coziness from Iris's cottage with the convenience of a grander space like Amanda's own home. It was really important for me to mention the Mill House because I believe that it completes the character study that Hopman and Myers were trying to make through the interiors of the film. 3 houses, each representing a different character. The task for these homes was to find those little elements to illuminate each of the characters, both the characters that reside in them, who have curated their homes through the years, but also the escape that it brings to both ladies as they step inside each other's worlds. It's this which contrasts each house with what the characters are going through at the beginning of the film compared to the ending. Amanda feels alone at a massive home, which in theory has everything, yet not what she needs. And Iris's cottage, in which she has isolated and secluded herself, which eventually suffocates her, urging her to escape. Both women go in search of something different, trying to escape their current situations and their own respective worlds, serving as the platform for one another. Yet, in life's unpredictable ways, they find that maybe what they think they want is not necessarily what they need, bringing their character's journey to a full circle. And that is going to be it for today's video. I truly never had more fun making one of these entries over the series as I did with this one. The Holiday is an extremely meaningful movie to me, and I loved discussing it with you all. For this series, I love to make as much research as I possibly can, and I would love to give a shout out to some very special websites and blogs which have helped me get more information into the making of these films and getting to know more details of these beautiful sets. The first website that I would love to give a shout out to is Hooked on Houses, and the second one, which I have previously mentioned in one of my videos, Between Naps on the Porch. I absolutely adore both of these websites, and I really wanted to give them a special mention for all of the incredible work that they do. And if you guys want to check them out, I will of course leave them linked in the description box down below for you to do so. I would also love to mention the incredibly talented production designer John Hutman, who again was the production designer in The Holiday and who has worked hand in hand with Nancy Meyers in many of her films, such as It's Complicated and Something's Gotta Give. He actually recently created his own YouTube channel, which is so exciting. And his first video was actually him discussing the production and the sets of The Holiday. He goes into great detail into the production and the making of all of the homes and the sets in this film, and I highly encourage you guys to go and subscribe to his channel and check out this video. If you do so, definitely let him know in the comments down below of his video that you guys are coming from this video right here to show him all the love and support for his incredible work. But I hope you guys enjoyed this entry in my interior design in film series. Definitely let me know in the comments down below what your favorite part of these dream homes in The Holidays is. I always love hearing about your own stories, your opinions, and how you personally connect to the films that we discuss in this series. I try to get to every single comment and respond to all of you guys, so definitely let me know in the comments down below what you think. Also, of course, feel free to leave any suggestions of film homes that you would like for me to talk about next, and I'll make sure to add it to the list and get to it as soon as possible. But that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so yet. You can hit the bell button to be notified every single time I make a new upload. That way you don't miss any of the entries in this series or any of the videos I upload. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.